Welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we're bringing another little custom, but slightly something a little bit different this time. So we have the new wave down, and we have a lot of Obi Wan Kenobis now in our midst. So as before, this was our episode 3 Obi Wan Kenobi, and basically he's kind of like a bit of a brick. He hasn't got much articulation, and there's not much really kind of going for him. So I want to kind of bring him up to date, but unfortunately I won't be using this guy at all. So we've got a episode 2 Attack of the Clones Obi Wan Kenobi, and yeah, so I kind of want to bring him up to date looking like this guy. So this guy's kind of a little bit like reference, I suppose, and I've also got some old Star Wars type books as well that I want to kind of do to use for reference, because his boots are different. They've got like a front sort of shield on here, and these have got these straps around here, and it's kind of whether or not I want to go immaculate to detail or not, and I'm still not 100% sure yet. But all I know for sure is that I want to make these trousers tan, and also want to bring this bit in brown. And then it's going to be a head swap from General Commander Kenobi. So we're going to take his head off, put it on this guy, and then I'm going to actually take this guy's head and put it on here to make this one more screen accurate, like how he should look, because this is episode 3 and he should look more episode 2 looking to actually complete this look. And he's great and he's clone, but I've never been a massive fan of this guy, and if I ever take pictures of this guy on Instagram, I always plonk this guy's head on there, and even though it wobbles around and stuff like that, I prefer that. So yeah, it's going to be literally, let's go to the kitchen, get some hot water, pop these guys in a couple of, well, it's just going to be this one actually, because this one's head, because it's like a clone, it just pops straight off anyway. So that's all I need from him at the moment. And so yeah, we're just going to pop this one into some hot water. Okay, got some hot water from the tap. My tap is really hot. I can never do washing up in my hot tap because it's so hot. So we're going to just submerge Obi Wan Kenobi. I want to get his neck and his waist in there, and submerging from a little bit, and then hopefully we can pop off his head. That's his head. Okay, so when I had this guy, he had the peg inside his head, so I've had to really sort of get him very, very hot. And what I did, I just put the fork up there and just pulled it out. Okay, so we're back in the room, and so I put the peg back into his head on this bit, so we can still move it around, and I've got all this part on here, but pushing that down, obviously it keeps his head up really high. So it's either I could cut this down and put it on there so he can just turn left and right, but I kind of want him to have quite a bit of movability in his head, so I want to keep this, so I'm going to Dremel out as far up as I can go and to put it on there. So that's going to be it. Right, that went a lot better than I expected, to be honest. I just kind of used that kind of tip and just slowly Dremeled down just in a straight line, and actually it's fitted on really well, and doesn't even want to come off when you want to. You just have to give it a bit more of a squeeze, but yeah, it's right down, and I think it's just literally the right height. I think got quite a good movement there, and he looks really great. Before I go and paint, I'm actually going to tackle the boots. And I just sort of looked to really, it just needs a sand at the front to get rid of these buckled parts here and all the way around. So if I get it just nice and flush to everything, because the actual flap that it has in the boot there is actually on here. Bring that in. So it's just without the buckles really. So I'm going to do that, and then I can just overpaint the whole entire boot. Okay, so I sanded down the boots, and just need to get a better sander tomorrow, so I'll come back and do that. So just going to paint this little bit up here for now, and job done. Hello. So we're into the next day now, just kind of sort of went to bed as it's quite late, but yeah, so I sanded down these boots just down on that part, so I just need a nice sort of fresh coat. So I poured a bit brown with a tinge of red to get that kind of sort of like browny red up. Now I'm just going to paint his trousers to get them into a nice line, and I've tried really hard to get this kind of like yellowy kind of brown sort of tinge thing on there. So as you can see, I've just managed on here, just near enough get it to where I want it to be. So I've kind of used brown, kind of used like an off yellow that I put somewhere, which is this one. And these are not great. These are not great paints ideally for and I used white. They're not great paints for the figures, but I just literally haven't got the colours that I want into mirror just to get to this colour. So as it's his legs, they're fine, and then I'll just do a matte varnish over the top of them just to keep them in place, and hopefully we'll go from there. And obviously I painted this brown already. So yeah, I've got a little bit of paint palette down here before it dries up, and then I'm just going to apply it to his trousers. Okay, so next up, I'm going to do his boots. So we're going to use XF68, which is a NATO brown. It's kind of a nice dark brown. And then I've got just a flat red, or just red, X7. So it's just going to be brown with a little tinge of that red, just to get that kind of sort of redness on his boot. Okay, so we're getting there. The brown's done. I've done an extra bit of brown in there just to highlight the kind of sort of textured layer. Done the boots, trousers are drying, the head's here. So the next thing up is I want to do on this belt slightly a few different sort of variations. The belt is completely different around the back, but I'm not too worried about that. But on his little bit here, you can see that on this one it's gold, and I have checked as well, it is a bit gold as well on the main costume. And it's kind of like the belt sort of like holds it in place, when on this one it's kind of like they're latching on. So I'm just going to do tiny little brown little dashes on there to bring it in, and then just bring a silver kind of capsules on the side, just to make it a little bit different from the episode 2 version as well. So off we go to that. Okay, so Obi-Wan is pretty much completed. All his paint's done, he's just drying off. So there's just two things really I need to do. So first one is I'm going to have to Dremel out that bit inside there so that it'll plonk onto his new clone body. And then also his hand's a little bit larger for this one, and the best lightsaber I think that I own of any kind of Obi-Wan's is his original kind of old Ben Kenobi. Unfortunately the saber has snapped inside there, so I'm not going to be really using this lightsaber, so I'm going to sort of Dremel out that little bit in the middle and hopefully trying to fit a way of putting this in here. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, and dribbling for the head, and then that's kind of it. Hello there. So here he is, Obi Wan Kenobi. I've done a bit of weathering on his gown as well. Just wanted to kind of sort of bring him a little bit more kind of towards the end of Revenge of the Sith. His trousers have come out a little bit more yellowy, but they are a bit glary more on camera than they are in real life. And this is like the original version, the tanned. But I kind of like it. It kind of brings a little bit more kind of character out. Kind of brings that kind of edge out on him. And we've got the gold parts all in there. We've got the silver parts on there now. And the head, yeah, fitting really nice. Just realised I've got a bit of brown paint in there, but it's easy removable. And yeah, on the back. Now, got a decent Episode 3 Obi Wan Kenobi, rather than this old thing. So we brought him into the new century of Black Series figures, and then also we now have General Kenobi. There's new head sculpt on there, on the neck, and we've got all the articulation there, and looking fine and dandy. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just a quick one, and just let me know if you do any kind of customs of your own, and comment down below. You can follow me on Instagram, where I'll be posting some pictures of these guys, and like and share and subscribe. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.